Hello, my name's John. Welcome to my YouTube channel, John Plays the Guitar. I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video on my Carla U bass video where I call it the worst bass I've ever played. And it is the worst bass I've ever played when it comes in stock, but I've found some things that fix it and make it playable and actually quite enjoyable to play. So I'll put a little tile thing. Never works when YouTubers say the tile thing and they point and it's never there. I mean, if I can pull it off, we'll see, because I don't even know how to use YouTube, but we'll see. But essentially the issues were with the tuners were absolutely awful. First off, they were really small, like almost like the small guitar-sized little kidney bean button ones. And they were also super jolty and janky is the word. Like you'd go to turn them and they wouldn't actually be catching properly, or they'd all of a sudden just jolt. They weren't smooth, is what I'm trying to say. So I replaced them with some Goto, I think it's G707Bs or something like that. It's the Goto mini bass tuners, 20:1 ratio. It was just a straight fit in it. Didn't need any mods or anything like that. And they're already way better. And then the other thing, which I read on some forums that said that they helped with like super short scale basses, is using flatwounds. And unfortunately, Carla, or just the nature of it being a super short scale, this is 23.5-inch scale, you can't just use any bass strings because it's too short. So I was forced to use the Carla brand, Carla by Labella, I think. Flat wound steel strings. Make sure you get the steel string ones, because I think they do flat wounds for their acoustic ones. But yeah, replace those. That was just a straight switch. Didn't need to do any modifications other than just redoing the intonation. I didn't need to adjust the truss rod. I have the action quite low. And these are the first flat wounds on any instrument I've had, because I'm usually a guitarist, so I don't play jazz, so the need for flat wounds isn't really a thing. Whereas probably most bass players at least have like one bass setup with flat wounds. I gotta tell you, flat wounds are awesome. The feel of them, like you don't get any of the much string noise. I know that annoys some guitar players having the string noise of like moving in between stuff, but you get much less of it with with flat wounds. But anyway, the tuning is way better, the intonation, because before everything just used to be sharp across the entire neck, and it just wouldn't make much sense either. Like you'd have the intonation set up as much as you can, but you're pushing the saddle all the way back. And everything was sharp, and everyone's like, oh, maybe, the nut's too high or the action's too high, you're pressing too hard. And like, I use 8s on guitars. I know the issues of if you press too hard, then it's going to go sharp all too well with 8s. I usually play with like a super light touch. So it wasn't that. And I just find with flat wounds, it just feels really sturdy under the fingers. It's like the tension is really good, even though it's a super short scale. Like I tune this down to E flat sometimes as well for a punk band, and I think it'll have no issues with that. I haven't even set up the intonation perfectly on the low E string. That's the string that was causing all the issues. You can see it goes it's a little bit flat. But that means I can actually move it forward more so it's off the wrap, which give me even better stability. Because before with the round rounds, I had to have it all the way back and it still wasn't intonating. And you get onto the wrap, and then the wrap is sitting on the saddle, so it's higher. Rambling a bit now, but look at that. It's just great. Look at that. Hey, dead on. Gee, it should be dead on. Now I can play my favorite riff. Yeah, bonus points for whoever can guess that. Maybe I didn't play it properly, but I think that was played on a short scale. And by short scale, I mean like a 30-inch scale, not like a 23.5-inch. I don't know many songs that have been played on a bass this small, but as a guitar player, it's bloody awesome. Whoops. And the tone of flatwounds is awesome as well. I was doing a little bit of research. Flatwounds were just on all basses up until I think the late 60s when John Entwistle and Roto Sound came up with round rounds for bass. And obviously a lot of bass players moved over to them, but some just stayed on the flatwounds. So I think John Deacon, Steve Harris from Iron Maiden, they're a bit harder to bend, so I don't know how they'd go with Cliff Burton as well used flatwounds. I think it's like less sustain, what I'm finding, but it's super punchy. Punchy and warm, and you just get that vintage sound, I think. Only when you roll the tone all the way down. And tone all the way back up. And when you pick all the way over there, yeah, I'm not going to get any copyright strikes. I don't play them well enough. But anyway, if you have a short scale bass with a Carla one and it's absolute garbage, which they are, replace the tuners and get some flatwounds on it. And it's completely changed how I feel about this instrument. I love it now. Yeah, that's it from me. Hope it helped someone. Like, comment, subscribe, all that garbage. Bye-bye.